Hey there guys, it's DJ Slope here from Slope's Game Room and it's the January Q&A. So, you know, it's the first time I've done one of these things. I am going to do them obviously monthly. A lot of other YouTubers do it that are the same style as me, and I've decided I'm going to jump on that as well. I think it's quite cool to, you know, be one-on-one with you guys. So, yeah, here it is. Okay, so firstly, before I start off, I just want to say, you know, a massive thank you to everybody that's, you know, really pushed this Final Fight video. The Final Fight video has done really well, and considering it's January, a bit of a dead month on YouTube, I put a lot of effort into that, as did Game Dave, and yeah, thank you very much. I've had a lot of positive feedback, and yeah, really good all round. Thank you all for coming along and checking that one out. So, let's get straight into it, and the first question is from Ian A. Chapman. Were you ever into old PC shareware games of the 80s when you could get individual sample discs or the compilation ones of the 90s? I wasn't into shareware games. We didn't have anything like connected to the internet or anything like that. However, I do remember, firstly, my PC, I didn't get that until sort of the mid-90s. I think I got it around the end of the Mega Drive era. I think maybe even had a PlayStation 1 by the time I got my PC, and all my attention was on that. But the games I remember playing on there, I had the original Command & Conquers, Tiberian Sun, Red Alert, that sort of thing. Played a little bit of Total Annihilation. I had Warcraft 2 demos. I had a lot of demos of that sort of stuff. Roller Coaster Tycoon. I tried to get into the Sims a little bit, like the original Sims, with obviously crazy amount of expansion packs. I didn't really have much more to go on. Oh, Worms, actually. I was very much into Worms. I'll tell you, I was very much into Worms. But yeah. I don't have a hell of a lot of experience with old PC gaming, and when it comes down to shareware, the only thing I really ever had was, strangely enough, they had these big box games in Poundland, of all places. Poundland's a UK place where you can buy everything for £1, and inside it would be, you didn't realise, you'd think it'd be a full game, so I think my mum got me a load for Christmas one year. A whole load of them. I had like Commander Keen, there was Jazz Jackrabbit, what else was there? I did write a couple down. Epic Pinball, I think, was one of them. But they were just shareware games inside. They were, you know, like the demo version before you get the full version. Yeah, that's as far back as my shareware titles go. I didn't go any further than that. So, yeah, that's it really. Okay, so next up, ever play Croz? No. Sorry, I had literally no idea what that was until earlier on when I read this question. I had to go look it up online. That is definitely before my time when it comes down to PC gaming. Back then I was into home computers, so like things like Amstrads, and I definitely didn't play anything like that on them. So no recollection of or any understanding of what Croz is whatsoever. If you've played Croz, talk about it down below, because I don't know nothing. Okay, so next up we have Ryan Burford. Let's have a look here. Do you have a specific favourite genre in gaming? On that note, are there any plans in the future to create a video on the history of specific genres? Platforming and RPGs have such a long history, and there would be plenty of content to cover, but maybe something less obvious like rhythm games or the evolution of gaming music. Okay, so I'll answer these as they went through. Do I have a particular favourite genre? That would definitely be side-scrolling platforming games. As I've grown up, I suppose I've moved more towards like the Super Metroid Castlevania style game, I suppose. I've not played it yet, but Axiom Verge seems right up my street. Ori and the Blind Forest is one of my all-time favourite games. Super Metroid, obviously, Symphony of the Night, anything like that. Absolutely love those games. Now, doing a video on a specific genre, I done cinematic platformers because that sort of coincides with it a little bit. Heart of Darkness is one of my favourite games of all time. I love the Prince of Persia game, so I covered a fair bit in that and its origins with things like Karateka and how they did a lot of, what was the word, rotoscoping in that. So I covered quite a lot in there, but I don't know how. The thing is, when I do a complete history video, I really like to go in depth. So if I ever did something along those lines, it would just be such a long-winded video. I don't know, and also I don't think I'd ever be able to cover everything I'd want to cover in it because it'd just be so long. However, with that said, this goes on to his next part of the question. Rhythm games or the evolution of gaming music. Yes, ever since the beginning I've always wanted to cover the Bimani games, but to do that I think I'm going to have to travel to Japan and get some actual footage. I'm a huge DDR fan. One day I will own myself a DDR, a proper arcade DDR machine. I've got a metallic mat down actually there underneath the sofa which hasn't been used in ages, but I would like a proper metallic big machine, arcade machine. So I would like to cover all the Bimani games, Beat Mania. There's some crazy weird Japanese ones I don't even know the name of that I see in people's videos when they go out there that look amazing. So yes, I would definitely love to cover that. And that's something I've always wanted to do since the very beginning. And his second question, additionally, I was wondering if your love of gaming has been a constant ride or if you had gotten back into it after a few years absent. Yes, I had a moment towards sort of in the middle of the PlayStation 1 era. All of my friends had N64s. I was a PlayStation kid through and through. And there was a little moment where all I wanted to do was just pretty much just play one game, which was Wipeout 2097. I was obsessed with that game. And I sort of just fell out of love with gaming, and it was because DJing just took over my life. I was obsessed with DJing, and back then it was all about the CDs you bought, and every time I bought a new CD, I would just try and mix it with all of the other CDs I owned, and you know, I just become so obsessed with DJing that video games took a back seat, and it was Wipeout 2097 was pretty much the only game I played. Actually Wipeout, and I actually tried to make music on that music game on the PlayStation. Does anyone remember that? Crap, but yeah. And it was only until I want to say the Dreamcast that brought me back in, when I remember seeing things like Sonic Adventure. Yeah, that absolutely blew me away. And yeah, that was what got me back into gaming. Okay, next up we've got Phil Lowlins, or Phil Lollins. Someone took quite a lot of offence to the fact that I said Lowlins, not Lollin. I think it's Lowlins. You get the idea. Anyway, Phil Lowlins. What's your party starting tune when you're DJing? It would have to be Jump Around by House of Pain. Whether I'm DJing at a heavy rock festival or a bit more of a hip hop electronic place, you can always start a party up with House of Pain. There's no warm up acts with that sort of stuff at all. You just push that in as soon as you hear that music come in, and you can mix it so well with 110 BPM, sort of, I don't know, Moonbaton or glitch hop style music. Definitely Jump Around by House of Pain. That's my go-to #1 track that I always play if I've got like an hour set or something. And secondly, he asked another question that I don't think this makes too much sense, but I'll try and answer it anyway. Do you think there's much difference in companies like Sony delivering subpar AAA titles like No Man's Sky and earning much more money but have no accountability? Or do you think the rules are different? Okay, I don't 100% understand the idea, but I'll tell you what I think about No Man's Sky. I remember when it was first revealed, everyone was losing their mind over No Man's Sky. And I thought I must have watched something else, because I did not understand what people were so excited about. Because I always ask the question, yeah, but what have you actually got to do in the game? Do you just fly around and go to planets? I understand, you know, it's huge, you get to this planet, there's stupid quadrillion million planets or whatever. But what happens when you're on the planet? What have you actually got to do? And no one seemed to really care about that too much until very, very later on, after it got delayed, and you know, we never actually got to understand what you're supposed to do in the game, but people were losing their mind over it. And I was like, no, it doesn't look like there's anything to do in the game. And when it came out, there was nothing to do in the game. Now, you know, I think they really, really did big it up probably a bit too much. And a lot of the stuff they did talk about that they were going to be in the game wasn't in the game, all that sort of rubbish. They should be feeling pretty bad about themselves. Whether it's Sony that's put them in that situation, or if it's Happy Games, whatever the name of the company's called, someone needs to, you know, take the flak for that. That should not have been a full price game. It should be, it's not a AAA game in my eyes. You know, that is an indie game through and through. Indie games take a very long time to make, and that game took a very long time to make. So yeah, like, and there was a lot of angry people with it. No, not for me, not for me. Sorry if that didn't answer your question. But carrying on. Which retro gaming universe would you want to live in, and why? Quite an easy one. I would like to live in the Galgon universe because I like the graphics. And finally, you have Tales Forever, a long-time supporter of the show. He asked if you could bring 5 non-Nintendo characters that you would bring to Smash on the NX, and anything goes. Who would they be and why? So I've actually had a little think about this earlier. I was sitting there and I was writing them down, took some away, put some in. But these are the final 5 that I've stuck with. So Smash Turner from Comic Zone. I think he would be pretty cool. You could do lots of really cool stuff with the hand coming in and drawing in a different way. And he's got that little pet rat, Roadkill, that could go along and grab the special items and bring them back to you and things like that. I think that would be pretty cool. So Sketch Turner for #1. Toe Jam and L, only because they're amazing, and you could have them both on at the same time, sort of like how you have Olimar and the Pikmin, and you could have the Menacer gun come along and actually shoot people as the special. I think that'd be pretty cool. Who else have I got? Beat from Jet Set Radio. I love Jet Set Radio, and you know, having Professor K come up and do some big DJ special move or scream down the microphone and stun everyone on the, it could be his special move. I think that would be fantastic. Then you got Kid Chameleon. Yes, Kid Chameleon. Yeah, Kid Chameleon's an easy one because he's pretty much the Sega version of Kirby, and I would like to see what would happen when he, you know, gets all those Nintendo characters. I think that'd be pretty cool. You got a lot to play around with there. All of his different outfits that he's, you know, different characters that you play as during Kid Chameleon. And finally, I would have all of the Sega hard girls in as one playable character, which you could somehow switch. Maybe that could be as a costume in the level select or on the fly actually during play. You could do so many cool, that basically just opens it up to having every single Sega weird franchise. You could have some kind of columns thing coming down and knocking people out of the way. They did stuff with Virtual Fighter with, I think it was Dreamcast, that kept doing the jump and the head smack onto other people. Yeah. Sega hard girls, all three of them. Technically cheating because that's now, 7 different characters I've chosen, but hey, sorry. And there you have it, guys. That is my January Q&A. Like I say, we've got a nice smaller complete history video, which I actually mentioned in this one. One of the questions there coming up this weekend. And yeah, after that, I'm not too sure what was going to happen yet. I've got plenty of scripts half written, so who knows what's going to come next. But hey, thank you very much for all the support, guys. People on Patreon and everyone in the comments and everyone watching this and watching all of my videos, subscribers, people that thumbs up, people that retweet, people that put my stuff on Reddit, Twitter, everywhere. Thank you all so much for supporting Slopes Game Room. And if you want to be part of the Q&A for February, then the Patreon link is in the description. Thank you all so much, guys. This is DJ Slopes signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.